it?
That's it, I guess.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Oh, y'all kind of tired today, ain't y'all? Y'all forgot what we supposed to do? Y'all know how we get down, y'all. Peaceful Sabbath today, y'all. May the Most High bless today with His word, with understanding and power.
Yes, sir.
Through His only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Y'all know how we do it. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem. As recorded in 1 Kings 8 chapter, Daniel chapter 6 verse 10. Y'all, men ought to uncover their head when praying or prophesying. Women ought to cover when praying or prophesying within the assembly. Y'all, 1 Tim chapter 2 verse 8 tells us to lift our hands up high. Y'all want the Most High to lift us up, that we may receive His understanding today, y'all. With that, shalom, y'all.
Shalom. All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer. And it's with the Most High's permission. And in the name of His only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know Him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King. Long live the King. Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 112th chapter, it reads, Praise ye the Most High. Blessed is the man that feareth the Most High, that delighteth greatly in His commandments. His seed shall be mighty upon the earth. The generation of the upright shall be blessed. Wealth and riches shall be in his house, and his righteousness endureth forever. Unto the upright there ariseth light in the darkness. He is gracious and full of compassion and righteous. A good man showeth favor and lendeth. He will guide his affairs with discretion. Surely he shall not be moved forever. The righteous shall be in everlasting remembrance. He shall not be afraid of the evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in Yahweh. His heart is established. He shall not be afraid until he see his desire upon his enemies. He hath dispersed. He hath given to the poor. His righteousness endureth forever. His horn shall be exalted with honor. The wicked shall see it and be grieved. He shall gnash with his teeth and melt away. The desire of the wicked shall perish. Hallelujah! That sounded much different than that shalom, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
A couple more people must have came in while
They
we
did.
prayed.
Yes, sir.
The backup shalom.
Right.
Everybody woke up.
Right.
That's what it was.
That's what Daddy woke up. Everybody sang.
Yes, sir.
Shabbat shalom, y'all, again. Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family as we get about our Father's business. But first, y'all, just want to let everybody know that Brother Jacob is doing well.
All praise.
You know, just recovering, some well-due rest needed.
Probably.
Yeah,
He
so
burning the candle at both ends.
both ends and in the middle.
Sure is.
So, you know, we just want to let all y'all know that he'll be back on soon, just taking his time to recover. Don't want to jump back in and, you know, be wore down again. So, like I say, bro, burning the candles at both ends and in the middle. Also want to send shouts out again to Akakaja out there in Chicago, bro. Still praying for you. Sister Hananiah, she's home now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sister praying for you as well. And Sister Weezy. You know, an unfortunate incident happened with Sister Weezy. She lost her baby brother yesterday to, say violence, y'all, you know, in the rough streets of Memphis. But spoke with her last night. She's doing okay, as well as can be, but that is the younger brother, you know, so. And also, y'all, just want to give shouts out to Big bro back there, Ark Jeremiah, just had a soul day, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
66 years young back there.
Oh,
Look at him, y'all. There he is. Look at that. Right there, can still run a 100-yard dash in about 15.5. Yes, sir. So, y'all, as we get about our Abba's business, y'all want to introduce y'all. Well, y'all know him already. Our Kenzah. Did I pronounce that right? Kenzah. I told you I was going to butcher it. Kenneth is his government name, but say it yourself, bro. Kanaz. Kenneth. Why has I been saying Kanaz? Okay, that's why. And our team in the building too, y'all. That traveled up, y'all. Spent a little time with us today.
All praises.
Shabbat shalom. Yo, so we'll get about our Abba's business, huh? Oh, boy, am I losing my mind? She's so regular.
She real regular.
Regular now, she real regular, y'all. In town, permanently, Ema Ray Aelia, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Picked up today, you know, I'm looking all around.
Too bad I got the camera on.
Right there, yeah. Yeah, Ema in town, y'all.
All praise.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
Must be losing my mind, Ema.
Yes, sir. Welcome home, Imam.
Yes, man. So, y'all, as we get about our Abba's business, today's lesson, lawful fellowship, y'all, and we need to get some understanding in this area. We visited this once a couple years ago, but as we get deeper into the separation of the chaff and wheat, y'all, we need to understand fellowship dwells in mainly three different areas. And the Bible and its laws, rules speak of worship when you're fellowshipping, and then family and friends who can be broke down within that same realm, so to speak. And then you have job-related areas of fellowship. That we want to cover all these areas because so that we don't get twisted up and think that if I'm outside or am my fellowship going on a job, you know, is that considered the fellowship of unfruitful works of darkness? No, we'll get into all of that so everything is put back in its perspective, so to speak. And y'all know how we do it. We do it from our high priest, the only high priest of the order of Melchizedek, Yahushua HaMashiach. And y'all, we have to look at these laws from male, female, rich or poor, free or bond, Jew and Gentile. Every one of that got to be completed, that you cover every aspect of that so you don't get caught short saying, somebody say to you, well, what about the women in that situation? Or what about the men in that situation? Or what about a brother who's locked up on a free case in that situation? So the law has to cover every one of those aspects because the Most High say it's not grievous and there's no trouble or temptation that any man is facing that's not uncommon. So it's all throughout the Bible. Nobody has been in an unfamiliar territory, so to speak, concerning finding yourself in a certain situation.
We got a question real quick.
Go ahead. We got starting out the gate, huh?
Yep, out the gate, we got a question from Brother Floyd Hill.
No Floyd here.
He says, I have a question about burning incense.
Yeah.
I was burning sage because I like the smell of it.
Right.
And people were asking all kinds of questions. Did I do anything wrong in the eyes of the Most High?
As long as you weren't trying to chase no demons out of that, because they like sage.
Yeah.
Just as you asked it, I was saying.
Right. So there's something in the Bible and the laws is called burning strange fire. And what that means is if you strike a match to anything and light it and it's to another god and it's called strange, it means of the abnormal. So our priests, you read a lot about what we did in Ezekiel 16 chapter, we burn incense to Baal. So as long as you're not doing it for that, but the Most High tell you what gets rid of a demon, but it has to be, that demon has to be identified, which is a familiar spirit. Like in the book of Tobit, the 6th chapter, you'll see that familiar spirit was an incubus. Meaning, no.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No. Well.
It was the incubus messing with woman.
Right. Well, it had to be. Well, it was killing men. So that would have been an incubus because it was protecting the woman, and it wanted the woman. So it had already killed 6 husbands, potential husband. And Tobias was the 7th husband who, according to the record, the angel Raphael told him, this is what you need to burn. You need to get a fish gall. You need to get the liver of this and smoke it. And when that demon make his presence, light it, and it's going to drive him far into the deserts, which it did. And the bride's parents had the grave already dug the next morning. You know, thinking he was gonna be dead, but that demon was drove out of there. When they peeped in them rooms, they was snuggling like newborns. Good night of rest.
Right.
So y'all, there's instructions for everything according to the Bible. If you look at this like you look at your car manual in your glove box, when you have to finally reach for it, you're reaching for that in your car for some understanding. What is this light with this little flag on my dashboard? What does that light mean? So you go to the manual. Anything we need to do, we have to go to the manual and get instructions. If the instructions are bad, that manual is no good. Is that right?
Right. Yep.
And you can't have a different manual in a different car, can you?
No.
Can you have a Mercedes manual in a 300?
Ain't gonna do you no good.
Ain't gonna do you no good, is it? Different manual, ain't it?
Right.
Y'all, we got to have the same manual, and that's what we're gonna get into today. Any more questions out there? Concerns? Y'all got any questions back there? Tim Kenneth. Did I say it right that time? I butchered it again.
Kenneth.
Kenneth?
Kenneth.
No, I know his name is Kenneth. Yeah, I know his government name. I'm talking about his Hebrew name.
I thought it was Kenneth.
Kenaz, right?
Right.
It's Kenaz.
That's what I said.
Kenaz.
At
Kenneth.
least when you look at it, it's kind of that.
Well, hell, he right there. Ask him.
I'm gonna call him what his mama called him. She called him Kenneth. Y'all good back there, bro? Y'all got anything on your mind?
Even trucker, she asked if Brother Jacob having walked with daughter side tonight.
No, Brother Jacob may be back on early next week, or if not midweek, y'all. Like I say, much needed rest, and y'all don't want to rush him. He's not gonna rush himself, you know, to get back in there, y'all. But things go along. The chat should be open on there, y'all. We're gonna keep things moving forward, you know. But every now and then, everybody sometime may have to take a rest, you know, get recharged. But he's doing okay.
Okay, I guess he must be talking about Jacob, not himself.
What?
So L9 7 that been down with the 19 getting.
Yeah, L9 has also Ak L9. I'm glad you mentioned that too, y'all. We need to pray for Ak L9. He battling 19.
Really?
Yeah. As well as Melech out of Atlanta, so they battling 19, y'all, hard. But L9 is doing pretty good. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he said
he
better.
just the basic symptoms, y'all, and it ain't a point of if you get it, because if you breathe in air, it's been on you. It's just if your body say you can't live here, and then it goes out one way or the other. Either you blow it out of your nose, cough it out, or you put it in the Mississippi River. And y'all know how that's done.
But see, to me, man, that's what I was saying earlier. What happened to the common cold and the flu?
Right.
We ain't hearing none of that, but
Right.
we would always get over that.
Right.
So now they're trying to scare the hell out of everybody
Right.
to take this jab, and now they offering people $100 and
Yeah.
reefer. And
Yeah.
all. So I mean, I don't understand, man.
Well, it's like, you know, Levi Raphael said, he said, since when do they pay you
Right.
to take medicine? So that's what we really need to look at. They're offering you money to take medicine.
Exactly.
And they, you know, when they do that, when they're testing,
Right.
they'll go get 20 individuals and they say, we're going to test you, sign this waiver though. And then they test you, and testing lasts over 3.5 years, right around 3 years. They had that vaccine out in 8 months. What you got back there, LC?
That can be a plague on them, and they usually like they got us scared of a plague that's on them.
Well, it's on the world. If you breathe in oxygen, it's on the world. The fact is, we gotta have blood over the doorpost of your heart, like we were in Egypt, because y'all, we're in the wilderness of the people right now. This is 4 corners, y'all.
Yeah.
It ain't just in one area.
In the jungle.
It ain't just in one group of people. It's in the jungle. Like I say, and it ain't just one group of people. It's targeting one group of people more than the other because of health reasons, underlying existing illnesses, and also close quarters like the penitentiary. You know, that's gonna really ramp it up. And who dominating that?
You know, Hebrew.
So, you know, and then you got dirty doorknobs, y'all. You got something that's airborne. You got plagues hitting all over the world, just like it did in Egypt, y'all. But gold is tried in the fire, y'all. So we got to get prepared for that. Imam?
It's like that when they was giving our men that disease.
Oh, syphilis, yeah, Tuskegee experiment.
But they say it's not an experiment, but they're steadily collecting data.
Steroids, you know, so the experiment has gone beyond what they experiment in the world. Of course, they experiment in us, but on steroids,
Yeah.
which is like
Yeah. Y'all, and like you say, they're not posting the bad reactions of that shot, but the bottom line is, y'all, if we stay what we're supposed to be doing, alkalizing, you know, praying to the most, that's first and foremost. Because the bottom line is, you can alkaline all you want, but that's just to protect you. It's insurance. That's basically what it is. You ain't looking for a fire, but if one come, you want to put it out quickly. So that means we got to have protection around us all the time, and no weapon formed against us gonna prosper. So we ain't worried about what they throwing out there, because what we gonna do about it? The only thing we can do about it is stop breathing. Who ain't on that today? Oh, I'm not. Okay. See, so that means we got to get prepared and get ready for this. And the first thing is you got to have the blood of Messiah, the blood of the King, on the doorpost of your heart. If you ain't, you wasting your time, y'all, when recovery get past, because once it's in, it's scrap time. You know, we can't get to the late rounds and here you're blowing it, kid.
Right, right.
So y'all, let's get right to the lesson. We got more questions before we get going?
Not just yet.
You good, Levi? What you got?
Question, man. I'm trying to get understanding.
This COVID is really ruining families right now, man.
Yeah, and that's why we want to get into lawful fellowship, y'all, because a lot of this, y'all, evil has come into the world, and the reason we're in this day is because sin is abounding at a level, y'all, we can't comprehend it.
Yep, yep.
Y'all, I'm talking about if we look at every aspect, it's just got you focused in one area more than the other, but all the stuff that's moving behind the scenes. These movements of change of kind and genders while we watching COVID.
You just think, man, they still ain't got good water in Flint, and we forgot
Still ain't,
all about
and
all that.
just to forgot all about that, and it could be heavy in there because of that. If every time you turn your faucet on, it look like the Mississippi River, it's a problem. How you take a bath in that?
Woo. Put some hot dogs in that
Boy,
water.
look here. I bet you won't have them playboys come out there and drink that water.
Oh, man. Terrible. Emo got something.
What you got, Imam?
they say California is a drought. They don't have no water.
Yeah. Oh, they got lakes drying up on a regular.
And then I seen another place. They were burning everything down because they didn't have no water, and that doesn't make sense.
Don't make sense. But divers earthquakes in places, earthquakes in divers places, I should say. Alaska 8.5 or 8.2 got them fleeing. Hundreds of thousands of them fleeing for safety ground because that brings a tidal tsunami.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they're fleeing from that, y'all. So it's trouble all over the world, y'all. But y'all, we say hallelujah because it's one day closer to Holy Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
And the second coming of Messiah, which we've been waiting on, y'all. We've been waiting on it. We got to go through what it said. This gonna happen before our show.
Right.
We good, y'all? Today's lesson again. Lawful fellowship, y'all, from many aspects. So we're gonna get right to the first and understand that worship must be explained first. Because that's what separates, you know, when somebody say, you know, because when you come in this walk, you leave friends behind. You leave family members behind. And when I say behind, you move to a different spiritual walk, but you still are in contact with them.
Yeah.
Does this fellowship mean because we come down here and worship, we can't go and speak to a cousin who may be still going to church? Does it say that?
No.
And so that's what we need to get the understanding of what is spiritual fellowship and the many avenues that it goes along. So we're gonna cover a few incidents today, I should say examples today of the patriarch Abraham, you know, because that's where the covenant started, and how he dealt with other nations, how he worked with other nations, how he invited those nations to the weaning of Isaac. So we're going to see consistently where if you're a light to the Gentiles, sooner or later you got to be around the Gentiles. The problem is we just got one color when we say Gentile in our mind. But Gentiles are black as the night. They're called what we call Africans or Hamites.
Yep.
You got the islanders with extremely dark skin, Aborigines. You got Asia. You got all of these, what we're speaking of dark skinned people. So don't get it twisted when you're only looking, don't be color struck, I should say. But let's get right into it, y'all. And what we're talking about is lawful fellowship, and the script tells us not with the unfruitful works of darkness. So to understand that, you would have to understand what an unfruitful work would be, wouldn't you?
That's right.
Because it says you can't fellowship with that. So if you will, Zed, really quick, let's get fellowship and also company, because these two words are used synonymously. Well, I said that time, didn't I?
You did.
It's, fellowship, I believe, is 2842, and company 2274.
I think Tuba, I got a question for you.
Go ahead, Tuba. Oh, do you?
Yeah, Princess J asked, I was
Sorry about that, Tuba. Yeah.
It's all good. She asked, I was studying Tophet of old, Isaiah 30 and 33. And the Strong's is H8613, fire, and H8611, to spit or spitting. Is that lined up with Revelations 3:16?
316, what 316 say?
Let's see. Oh shit, I should have known it wasn't in the back. Whole back of this Bible right here.
Yeah, well, boy.
Well, that's the back and the front.
And when we're talking about Tophet, we're talking about hell fire. And when you talk about hell fire, you're talking about the grave, because that's hell. Everybody's going to hell eventually.
Right.
Hell is the grave. Because in Revelation 22, I believe it said, hell and death were cast into the lake of fire.
Right.
So that's why the Messiah say, you know, don't fear who can destroy body in hell or put you in the grave. You know, because a jack artist could come around from, you know, you walking out of the check cashing place and blow your brains out. You going to hell, so to speak, you going in a grave. But he say, fear him who can put you in hell fire. That's a total difference. That's where you go from the grave to the lake of fire. That's your problem, because that's the second death. So that's what we want to get a clear understanding on.
Revelation 3:16?
Yeah, what it say?
So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
See, and when it said in is that Isaiah 30?
Isaiah 30 and 33.
When it talks about Tophet is old, read that, bro. We'll break it down, because it's a future, it's like a dual prophecy. But it's certain words in there gonna let you know that he warned about the lake of fire a long time ago. Look, the lake of fire was created for Satan and his angels and his demons. So they fell before Adam and Eve was thought about. So this is how long and how old Tophet was prepared. It was not prepared for the offspring of Adam, because it was made for Satan and that third of the angels. That's what it was created for. Go ahead. Who got that? Real that?
Got it.
Yeah.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and 33.
Yes, sir. Hold on, everybody get there.
It's just the last verse in that 30, in that verse 30.
Yes, sir.
30. And it reads, for Tophet is ordained of old.
What is Tophet?
Ordained of old.
See, it's ordained of old. When things are ordained, they've been put into law. They've been put into place and governed, because once it's ordained, it's stamped and approved. And it says it's of old.
Right.
But we're going to see how old or how long old is. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the king it is prepared. He hath made it deep and low.
Right?
The pile thereof is fire and much wood, and breath of the Most High.
Read that again.
The breath of the Most High, like a stream of brimstone, doth kindle.
So it's the Most High who keeps it and keeps the flame going. But it says just his breath that blows on it and keep it going. And it says of old.
Right.
So the Most High been kindling this fire. The lake of fire been roaring, waiting on Judgment Day. We got a perfect example of it when Moses was at the burning bush. A bush on fire, consumed by, burning all around, but not consumed.
Right.
No leaves burned off of it. Not one. So this is what's happening with the lake of fire being prepared for Satan and his angels and anybody else who choose to have unfruitful works of darkness. And not my words, them the script words.
Right.
So, and when you're speaking of Revelation 3:16, talking about lukewarm, in a sense, if he spew you out your mouth, you head into that tophet.
Right.
And that's for anybody else. If he spew you out of his mouth, and that's just saying for that crime of being lukewarm. And what that means is he said either be cold or hot, either rock with the devil,
Right.
or be on fire for the Lord.
Exactly.
But you're not going to share worship.
Right.
The Most High ain't going to share worship with nobody else. You ain't going to serve him today and serve Buddha tomorrow. It don't work like that.
No other gods before
No
me.
other gods before me. And if you have to, you're going to eventually slide them up, ain't you?
Yeah.
Let's get to it, y'all. We got to get caught up. Deuteronomy 18th chapter. And y'all, we want to get right to the law of what we're speaking about. First, let me get that unfruitful works of darkness. Oh, you got fellowship? Thank you, sister. I know I get way ahead of myself. Because everything has instructions, y'all, and the law tells us how to stay instructed. So y'all hear anybody talking about the law and saying don't trust the law. Or if you ponder what they're saying, because the only thing it is to make you doubt the word of God. You can talk about languages, you can talk about anything you want, but if they say or touch that law, one or two things gonna happen. Either you put the book down or we home free.
But see, now, if you're not operating under the law,
Yeah,
doesn't that make you an outlaw?
that's what it makes you,
That's
an
what I
outlaw. But the deal is once you convince somebody to question the law, it's gonna be trouble. But see, all throughout the Bible, men that understood that law, like Paul did and Peter did, when Peter was on the rooftop, he said, while Peter doubted within himself
Right.
of what the vision meant. He said he didn't doubt the Lord.
Right.
He doubted himself. He said, it's got to be me. I must have missed something all them years. And plus them years I rode with the Messiah, I missed something. And while he thus thought on that, that's when the men of Joppa came, and was telling him about Cornelius, and his heart was relieved at that point. But it was law that he was in his heart thinking about, but he never said it was the law. He said the doubting is on me.
Right.
It's got to be me because the law was here way before I was.
That's right.
See, Satan broke the law before Adam was formed. So what law is that? He's called a murderer and a liar. Is that different from a murderer and a liar today?
No.
It's the same law, ain't it?
Same law.
Because we pray that heaven be like same on earth, don't we? So it has to be the same law. You got them said?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Back here tripping. This computer back here acting crazy.
Oh, is that crazy?
And then the number you gave me, is that G or H? Because it told me it wasn't no
But maybe G.
2842.
Yes, Fellowship and Company 2274. Well, somebody will Google it real quick. Google it real
I
quick.
ain't been able to find Fellowship. I'm finding Fellowship, but not the one you gave me.
Just Google it real quick, y'all. Somebody, it'll pop up. Just say biblical definition of fellowship, biblical definition of company. Y'all, and we just need to get our instructions before we move forward. Because y'all, if you read a scripture and there's one word in that verse you don't understand and you go to the next verse, you just miss the understanding. Every word is pure. And what that means is you can't overlook a word because you think you may know what it means. If you say, well, that may mean that.
Right.
If you think that up here, you got to go look that word up.
Yeah. Because you got to find out what context the word is being written in.
So you can move to the next verse
Exactly.
and understand what it's telling.
Right.
So if you go, that's why the course is minimum 70 years. 70, that's life, ain't it?
Yeah.
So the course is at least that. So that's giving you time to study and show yourself approved. And you will if you cover it according to the priesthood and order of Melchizedek. There should be no problem if you cover every angle, male, female, free bond, rich and poor, Jew or Gentile. You got to account for every one of those because every one of those souls will show up on Judgment Day. Every one of them. Don't people die in the penitentiary?
Right.
People die shackled in chains, don't they?
Every day.
Somebody die in police custody, ain't they?
Every day.
Males die, females die, don't they?
Free at
Rich people die. You know the rich people still, they're beaten death.
Not at all.
Poor people die. So y'all, we got to, this is what this life manual is about. But you got that Hebrew?
I got fellowship in the Zondervan.
That's good. Let's roll with it.
Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary.
Yes, sir.
And it has fellowship in there. And it's got a couple different, but we'll check this first one. It says,
I found it.
You found it? Thank you, bro.
It's been computer back here tripping.
Yeah.
Back here tripping.
Them damn computers.
G2842.
you got it out?
Oh, no. I clicked on it, now I gotta wait on it. Here we go. Root word, Kanaiya.
Yep.
And it says, to fellowship.
To do what?
Fellowship. Commune. Communication.
Communication.
Distribution. Contribution.
Right.
To communicate. Fellowship, association, community, communion, joint participation.
Joint participation.
Intercourse.
Oh yeah, that's fellowship too. Yeah, go ahead.
The share which one has in anything. Participation.
So, y'all, we
Intercourse, fellowship, intimacy.
right. All of the above. Go ahead, give me do you have a company?
I'm going to give you this
I done asked for
fellowship.
a whole lot. Go
I'm
ahead.
going to give you this fellowship out of the Zondervan.
Go ahead, bro.
It says partnership or union with others in the bonds of a business partnership, a social or fraternal organization,
Yeah.
or the propinquity. Christians are told not to be unequally yoked together with unbelievers,
Right.
because such a union, either in marriage, business, or society, is incompatible with that fellowship with Christians and with Yah.
So, y'all, that's when you see it. See if it got company in there as well.
I got company right here, but it ain't the same number you gave.
It ain't. Well, run the number you got.
This one is H.
What you got one of them on?
64. And it says Makandi,
Right.
camp, place, encampment. Camp of armed hosts. That can't be.
No, we're looking for the spiritual and the fleshly side of
Said
it.
company, but that ain't it.
You got company in there?
Is that the next word you looking?
Yeah.
Is it?
Company. Down at the bottom. Just COMPANY. We're struggling a bit today with y'all. Y'all just trying to get the understanding so we can move forward what the words mean so we won't guess what they mean.
You had to put H get you a G next to this recording number instead of the hashtag. Probably would help.
Don't blame it on me. See, you bought that tablet lower than a cricket. What is that? That's a grasshopper tablet.
Somebody said company is H4264.
H4264. Thank you, family. Hey, y'all, this class, everybody chime in. Thank you. What'd it say? They didn't put it up, though, huh? They just said what it means.
They weren't trying to put it there.
Boy, we moving extremely slow today.
Something going on.
I got the dictionary definition.
Just run it, bro. Y'all, we just looking for some answers, y'all. Participate. This class participation, y'all, ain't it?
Right.
Let's get it.
Somebody else participate.
Now, Mama D just texted it's H60.
No, we know the numbers. We need to post it out there on Google. Like you know how them Facebook things go around early in the morning, and everybody say liked it so much. Do that for this right now, y'all, so we get some understanding real quick.
Company. First definition, a commercial business.
Right.
Second definition, the fact or condition of being with another
Yeah.
or others.
Yeah.
Especially in a way that proves friendship or enjoyment.
That's what we're talking about, y'all. Y'all see how it gets down to it. And some people say, well, you can't use Webster or none of them. BS. The word is in every language.
I ain't hear that.
And it's always gonna be a flesh side and it's gonna be a spiritual side. Because there's two witnesses in everything, and Satan does not give out free cases. He will not have a different definition in Webster that's different in a book like that. But they relate to certain topics. Like when you look up reverend or worship, or like holy in Webster, it'll say the first definition, worthy to be worshiped. The second definition of holy is to be set apart. So when the Messiah said, "Be ye holy, for I am holy," he worshiped his Father. But he never said, "Look at him like the Father." He told us this is how we pray. Our Father, who art in heaven. So y'all, we have to understand every dictionary is going to give you a spiritual side and it's going to give you the fleshly side of a matter. It has to do that so Satan, and you're going to be accused. You saw it in the dictionary. Well, it wasn't the Hebrew dictionary. Ain't nothing on earth says that if you play by the two witness rule game. When you go to the doctor, if you don't like his diagnosis, what he tell you to do?
Second
Get a
opinion.
what?
Second opinion.
He tell you go to another expert then if you don't believe me. Go to another expert. So it's set up like that throughout the world, y'all, so that we don't find ourselves in a position, because if you locked up, you think they're gonna order all concordances for you, Hebrew concordances and different things, and send them to your cell?
No.
I tried to take the passes when I was in there. He said that's the only book I couldn't take.
Right. You see that? Go ahead. What you got?
I had any of these books. I grabbed the concordance. He said, no, not that one.
Not that one.
Big old 581 put in there from G4862 and the compound of G303 and 3396 to mix up together, that is figuratively associate with.
Associate with y'all. And this is what it's coming down to, y'all. We went around that whole circle for 15 minutes just to break down two words of how do you hang out with individuals in the world. If there's a judgment day for everybody on planet Earth, then that means you may find yourself in company of somebody from another nation on planet Earth. We got to know how to address those people. We got to know how to allow those people to be around us, and most of them gonna be your family members, blood family members. And there's a fine line between finding out the truth who you are and your blood family is right here. Some Israelites teach, get away from them, cut them off for good. They're the devil. They're going to the lake of fire. The Bible ain't never said no such thing, because we see countless time Abraham going back and seeing his family members. Jacob went to Laban's house, didn't he? And found his bride there, didn't he? Mm-hmm. So would that be unequally yoked? Or is it commandment? The customs he got married under was of that nation. And it's just a custom because marriage is universal. Every nation on earth, if an individual say we married and got proof, it's protected under every nation on planet Earth. If it wasn't so, you'll have what was happening in Egypt. Men would take your wives. So that prevented you from traveling to certain places, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. So y'all, we're gonna get right into it, y'all. We're gonna get into this to keep company with, y'all, because it seems like we're struggling today, so it must be meant to be. But law is supreme, y'all. Anybody tell you that we gotta take a second look at the law and you start debating with them, that's what's going to happen. Because there's no winner. And what I mean by that, there's no souls can be won. How then do you make a point when all that individual have to do is say, that's the very script right there I was saying is tampered with. What you do after that? And then you say, well, I'm gonna get you back when you try to make a point. Yeah, that's the one I was saying was tampered with. But y'all in a pissing contest about truth. And y'all doubting truth, both sides. And then you saying we reproof and correcting. How? How do you reproof with tampering?
Talking about iron sharpening iron.
How you gonna do that? Iron gonna sharpen iron and it ain't got the right minerals in it.
Right.
When you making a sword, they gotta make sure it's this certain type of metal that it don't bend or break under the fire. If you clash up against a weak sword, you gonna cut it in half.
Exactly. And then over time, after they clash, he might sharpen, but over time, it actually dulls the sword.
Oh, look
Right.
here, bro.
No doubt.
So y'all, law prevents that type of confusion. Because I don't care what you do or where you go, there's instructions everywhere you go or whatever you do. I don't care what sport it is, the referee come out, don't he? In football, we're gonna flip a coin. Whoever picks heads or tails, heads you go first. Those are rules. They got flags, they throw a flag, they say, you did the wrong thing. You hit that quarterback in the head with your fist. That's a penalty.
Right.
And we may throw you out the game.
Right.
How do you then let somebody get you into a scriptural discussion and they're telling you don't believe the laws of it? Then words, how do you measure? How can there be a judgment with no rules?
The argument can never be decided.
It can't never be decided. So you know what you end up being? Oh, okay, we can just agree to disagree. That's crazy, ain't it? Then that means you can have your God and I can have mine and we can hang out. Not in worship you can.
Right.
You can't. So y'all, let's get to it. You got more questions out there too, back? Because we need to get rolling really quickly. We're going to start first in 1 Corinthians 1. We're going to skip one, then I'm going to come back to the law. 1 Corinthians 1. We're going to start about verse 9. We're going to read down on it. And we're going to get a little understanding because this is where Paul was going to the Gentile nations of Hebrews scattered as well as the stranger. So he had to be prepared for all nations. To the Jew first and then who?
The Gentile.
Yo, we ain't gonna never buck that order. We ain't gonna never change that order into one because it leaves too many questions and you gonna be, well, if that's what you believe. No, it don't come down to that. This says you must be fruitful and multiply. That means souls must be won. If you ain't winning those souls, it's all you talking about, I cut a few heads off and they over in the gutter, you ain't got no fruit.
No.
That's like you going to the grocery store and just bite off a fruit and put it back on the rack. You're not gaining any fruit. It's starting off early, but yeah, I cut his head off. And we looking around and say, well, where he at? Did you heal him back up? Did you build him back up?
Right.
No, I left him slayed in the gutter. You think that means, you know,
You're a murderer.
Yeah, that's what it means, spiritually. Because there was no recovery process. Every time we hear, man, you know what? After I reproofed him, correct him, he went home, told his whole family. Guess what? All of them want tickets to the Passover this year. Then you understand you're being fruitful and multiplying. But if you at war all the time, then the poor is being left out spiritually. That's why David couldn't build the temple, because he had blood on his hand. He had righteous blood on there and also unrighteous blood dripping from his elbows. No, David, you can't do it, because every man will think they have to kill somebody to be a member of the kingdom. You have to be like David. No, that ain't what it says. It says the kingdom, it will be peacetime. No, your son gonna do it. You can't do it, David. You done hung around some people you shouldn't have, in bedrooms you shouldn't have. No, you can't build a temple, David, because everybody be thinking that's what the kingdom gonna be like. No, 40 years of peace is what we got under Solomon, with all nations on planet Earth. Where we at?
We're in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1, and we're going to start the reading in verse 9.
Yeah.
Everybody there? Let's get some understanding, family. Yah is faithful, by whom ye were called unto the fellowship of his Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, our Master.
See, he said he's faithful to that fellowship. See, and these are words of the Father coming down. He said, look, ain't no tampering there. The fellowship in Hamashiach, this is what we're talking about, ain't it? To come in allegiance with, and him only. Let's read some more.
Verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Master Yeshua HaMashiach, that ye all speak the same thing.
That we all do what?
Speak the same thing.
What does that mean, y'all? That we speak the same thing.
If I hear Ariel talk, he's talking just like how I talk. When
Right.
we hear one another, no matter where we at, we talking the same ways.
Yeah.
One mind, one judgment, one
Same
faith.
doctrine.
Right. Same doctrine.
Same doctrine.
Go ahead, LC.
Same spirit.
Same spirit.
Exactly.
Exactly. And what we're talking about is when you say speak the same thing, it's what Christ told you. We have to speak the same exact thing he told us to speak. If you deviate from that, it's going to be a problem.
Scripture say lean not to your
Lean
own
not to your own understanding. Yes, sir. Go ahead, bro.
Romans 16 say, be of the same mind one toward another.
Yeah.
Mind not high things, but condescending to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceit.
Wise in your own conceit, y'all. We're talking about fellowship of the Most High. So when we speak the same thing, y'all, we ain't going to belittle and get this down the same thing. So if he a carpenter, I'm supposed to talk like a carpenter? No, that ain't know what we're talking about. What we're talking about is doctrine, y'all.
That's right.
You gonna talk like a carpenter, you can't read the tape there.
There you
Look,
go.
that don't make sense, do it?
LC.
What you got, LC?
Prideful and humble. You tell them between both of them spirit.
Say again.
Somebody's prideful and somebody's humble.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Conversation tells his spirit different. You can do the conversation.
Well, look, that's the only conversation you can have, because you can't hang out with the prideful. Or everybody be thinking like Donald Trump. That's a pride mindset. And it said, pride are the children of the devil. When you have pride, there's nothing wrong with being proud of someone, but pride is a whole different level. That means my dung don't stink. And it stank from a baby. So I know you know what a grown person's like. But let's get caught up, y'all.
And that there be no divisions among you.
Know what?
No divisions among you. But that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
So when you allow fellowship with another doctrine or something, it's like one leg will be longer than the other. It's like I have my right leg and then they twist Jeremiah's left leg off and give it to me. What? How am I gonna be walking? He's 6'4", 6'3". I'm 5'10" and a half.
Okay.
What's funny? Yeah. Y'all like, yeah, right. But y'all can see how it would be pulling. That's why you can't have an ox and a mule pulling a cart, because one leg is shorter than the other. So it said perfectly joined together. If you got an issue over here and I got an issue over there, how you gonna be perfectly joined together? How will that be possible? You can't be. So this is what it's talking about. Everything has to fit together. If I'm the arm and you the leg, but when that body comes together, it's walking perfectly. Let's read some more.
Verse 11. For it hath been declared unto me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Chloe, that there are contentions among you.
What's happening around there?
There's contentions among you. Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, and I am of Apollos, and I am of Cephas, and I of Hamashiach. Is Hamashiach divided?
That's the question. Is he divided?
Right.
Who's he sharing his glory with? Who's sitting on the right hand? He like, okay, I'm gonna do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then you can sit on the right hand the other days of the week.
Right.
No, he ain't divided. Go ahead.
Or were ye baptized in the name of Paul? I thank Yah that I baptized none of you.
What Paul say?
I thank Yah that I baptized none of you, but Crispus and Gaius, lest any should say that I had baptized in mine own name.
So Paul say, I wasn't concerned with baptism, not water baptism anyway.
Right.
He says only 2 people I can even remember doing that for. Gaius in the house of Stephanus, that was it. But we'll read some more and see what else he say. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And I baptized also the house of Stephanus. Besides, I know not whether I baptized any other. For Mashiach sent me not to baptize.
What'd he do?
Sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel. Not the wisdom of words, lest the cross of a Mashiach should be made of none effect.
See, so you can make the cross of a Mashiach none effect when you bring another doctrine in and blend it in.
Right.
So you basically saying at that point, anybody could have died on the cross. Shalom, Ishua ben Israel. Shalom, Maria. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then Paul is telling you, was I baptizing y'all in my name? Was it me? You saying I'm of Apollos, and y'all will get to this point where a lot of trouble will happen if an individual fall off and they may have baptized you. See, and you start to doubt yourself. Well, that's the one that baptized me. So, what we care about that? Demas, Paul, right-hand man, was baptizing folk. He fell off. People fall off. That don't mean your baptism don't count. They were on at that point. You know what I'm saying? So you're not to be questioning your own soul or conscience because that individual, you think you made a bad choice. Man, maybe I should have let him baptize me. So you don't even get to understand it as you putting your trust in the wrong individual. All that individual is helping you go down in the water while you laying flat on your back. Otherwise, you probably are drowned. But he ain't got no power, none. If he did, when you come back up, the heavens would open and doves would come down on you. That ain't happened, did it?
No, I ain't
So
seen
ain't no need you worrying about nobody falling off and they may have baptized you. It's water baptism anyway. And what it means is the baptism of John. You go down in the water and you say, when I come back up, I'm gonna start a new life. I'm not going to live that old life. But there's no magic potion in the water. It's just saying when y'all see me come up out of this water, I'm gonna be a different man. But that's still on the individual. The person that took you down and asked you, do you believe, has no power.
Right.
Don't burden your soul with it. Just say, man, oh man, may the Lord have mercy on me. That's all you can say. What is he gonna do, be held hostage behind that? Let's read some more.
Verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved it is the power of Yah. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise,
Right?
and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent.
That's right.
Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not Yah made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of Yah, the world by wisdom knew not Yah. It pleased Yah by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. For the Jews require a sign, and Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Hamashiach crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolish.
See, because the Pharisees, they were teaching commandments of men.
Right.
Greeks was teaching Enoch, Zeus, Apollos, whoever the god was at that time. Y'all, we cannot pull Hamashiach back off the cross. He's not getting back up there. He's not going to wait till you get through running through your idol gods and worship.
Right.
And then you decide, well, okay, I think I want to try him now.
Right.
No, he'll spew you out of his mouth. Let's read some more.
Verse 24. But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Hamashiach, the power of Yah, and the wisdom of Yah. Because the foolishness of Yah is wiser than men, and the weakness of Yah is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called.
See, and this is what it's saying. Y'all wonder why the high-ranking or so-called Albert Einsteins don't know this word.
Right.
Because the foolishness of this world got them wrapped up. And what you think is wisdom is foolishness.
Right.
How you got somebody thinking they say, the theory of evolution.
Right.
And when you look up their word of theory, it means a subject matter that can't be proven. It can't be proven by fact. So it's a theory.
Right.
And how do you sit back like you in a discussion, sipping wine out at the winery? You know the theory of evolution. We sitting up there, we're like, this crazy, listen to this foolishness. There's a missing link somewhere where a man had a monkey and they had a baby. We just can't figure it out in our theory. And it may have happened 20 billion years ago. How do we measure that? I mean, come on, for real, how do we measure that?
We can't.
It's only been 6,000 to 12,000 years since the Garden of Eden. And you're putting a billion on that, and you expect us to go find it.
No, they expect you not to find it.
Exactly.
Right. So, but they always come back when they're talking, the scientists. It was of biblical proportions. See how he make them come back? Because they can't explain it in their theories. So this is what he means when he's saying the rich men, they can't get under this too great for them. And the Most High said, my weakest day, they wouldn't even come into the ring. Ain't no need them stepping in a squared circle on his worst day.
Right.
They don't stand a chance. So what we believe in? How is Einstein the greatest individual to ever live and he split the atom? For what? Nuclear power to energize every home with no electrical cost? Is that what he did it for? To battery power every vehicle on earth at no cost? Is that what he split the atom for? Or did he do it to destroy mankind and an atom bomb was created out of it? You call that wisdom? And now they can do it 118 times in America, destroy the world. You got Russia, you got China, you got North Korea, and you got Iran with nuclear warhead, and Israel, the only nation that don't have to tell you how many they have. And you call that wisdom? One button, and life will never be as we know it before. And they call that wisdom. That was wisdom in Genesis 6 too, wasn't it? Wisdom of that world. And what happened to it? Drowned out. Let's read some more. We ain't gonna stop.
Verse 27. But y'all have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And y'all have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And base things of the world and things which are despised hath y'all chosen. Yeah, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are.
So when he say the base thing, basically what he's talking about is people that who are looked at like they nothing, like us. See, we're gonna be astonishment, a proverb and a byword, but an astonishment, either they gonna say, "Ooh, look at that nigga run!" in a 100-yard dash because we running for America. We beating all other nations. They're astonished at that. Did you see the speed of that individual?
That nigga.
Did you see how he won the championship for us? And then they're astonished another way when they see us running with a TV as fast as we running a 100-yard dash. And they're astonished. Look at that nigga. One way or the other. But you know what else they have to acknowledge? Those are y'all's people. Can't nobody else do that.
No.
Whether good or bad, we know who it is. We know that's why they're bad is at the level like that, because they're this people. But when they're good is like that, we're the only people they call God, so to speak. Because they're saying, you know, it's God-given. You'll never hear them say that about another individual of another nation. Have you ever heard them say, what's Yao Ming? He has soul. Have you ever heard?
No, I ain't heard that.
Have you heard anybody from any other nation? It's from the soul that they sing. Why do they call it blue-eyed soul? What does that mean? What's blue-eyed soul mean?
That white boy sing like Israel.
What he sing like? That's what we're talking about, y'all. That's what blue-eyed soul is.
Tina Marie.
Tina Marie.
That's right.
If you never saw her, you would have swore it was an Israelite. One from every other nation they have what's called a champion or somebody to get in the arena with us, but it's really no contest. But when they that close and you're listening to the radio, you say, almost, man, is that Israel? Oh, man, that's something else, man. Look, everybody want to be a Negro, but don't nobody want to be a Negro, if y'all understand what I mean.
Want the blessings, not
Want them lips? Because they thick and plump. They look nice. Want that rear end because it's round like round tires like the moon. Isaiah 3 say.
Round tire.
That's what the script say. Yeah, round tires like the moon. So, and then they want the speed, they want the agility, they want the dancing, they want the song, they want all of that, but you know what they don't want? Deuteronomy 28.
right.
They're like, y'all can have that. The Kardashian sisters say, we don't want none of that. We only want the brothers removed from that. With all of that, and look, we do it to ourselves, don't we? If you see a woman of another nation, who do you compare her with? Man, I'm talking about, man, this Chinese woman was built like a what? It's the measuring stick, ain't it?
You had to use the Chinese woman?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It don't look. It's some Chinese women. Look, it's nice looking in every race.
Every nation, yes, sir.
It's fine Caucasian women.
I ain't seen one.
Rosie O'Donnell.
What?
Hillary Clinton. I'm just messing with y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, what you got back there? I'm just messing with y'all. Just see trying to wake y'all up. Y'all, we've been dead a little bit this morning. Go ahead. What you got out there, LC? That's what I'm saying. We compare them to our sisters. It's the